1,500 miles to learn how to farm grass. Was it worth it? Ready?
Ready.
Okay. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Renewed Homestead. Denise and Ben here. Or Denise and Ben.
Denise.
Anyway,
all kinds of confusion on this homestead.
There is all kinds of confusion, but the guinea that thinks he's a chicken is no longer.
Yeah, Ben, he was being really mean to the chickens, so you took care of him.
Yeah, he was actually a problem. It wasn't just an inconvenience or picking, it was a problem.
Yes.
So don't have time for that, as we also learned on our trip to...
We actually took a 1,500-mile trip to Clark, Missouri to take Greg Judy's Grazing School.
Yep. All day Friday, all day Saturday. Got up Thursday morning and almost exactly 12-hour drive to get there. And of course, 12-hour drive to get back, but $120 worth of gas to get there versus about $2,500 for plane tickets and car rental and all that. So, so money well spent. But
yes, absolutely.
The class itself, great class. Greg Judy is everything you see on his videos. If you haven't checked him out, go check him out. Very nice guy, very friendly, open.
Yeah, he and his wife, good people.
Yeah, they are very good people. But so,
I guess the question is, was it worth it?
Was it worth it?
Okay.
So was it worth it? I say absolutely. One of the big things that I was interested in is the fencing, because we're all trying to work on that. And well, we asked Greg about it because Denise mostly put in all those T-posts up around the property and with the plastic clips on them to run the wiring. And he said, nope, I'd pull them out.
Yes, not what we wanted to hear.
Yeah, not exactly what we wanted to hear. Now, there are differences, and I'll tell you why we are not going to take his advice on that. One is just the cost. He likes, what is the?
Timeless.
Timeless fence post. They're really cool. They're just a hardened plastic that I guess you can run.
Fiberglass.
Fiberglass? Yeah, I guess you
can. No, fiberglass, or is it the vinyl windows? One of them.
It's recycled vinyl windows. That's what it is.
Yes.
But I guess these things have been drugged down the road and driven over, and they spring right back to life and drive them in. But there's the cost involved. There's the time of doing that. And part of the reason he likes those is that they don't conduct electricity. So if a deer runs through and hits his wires or whatever, it's not going to ground out. The disadvantage of the T-post is potentially if a deer runs over or jumps over, hits the wire and breaks the plastic clip, that wire can drop down and ground out. So now your animals aren't protected. But the big difference is he's running hundreds of animals. We're not going to be any kind of an operation like that.
No, and we got 14 to 16 acres that we pretty much walk every day anyway.
Right. We're going to check on it, and part of our process will be to just take the charge tester with us and make sure we got it hot, because last thing we need to do is lose any animals to predators, and we do have coyotes and wolves and
all kinds of things.
All kinds of things. Yeah. So that was the big thing I was looking at, but I learned so much more.
Yes.
So you want to talk about what you've learned?
Well, we learned that we were rotating the animals, which is good. And as you all know, our property's much improved. But he taught us how to know when you're moving too soon, when you're not moving soon enough. And one of the great things that we learned was right now during the spring flush, move them every day. And we have not been doing that. So he's like, just move them, move them, move them. And he also said, if there's parts of your farm or homestead that get away from you, forget about it and just keep moving. Keep moving. So we learned a lot. We also learned, how to rotate cows, how to rotate sheep, how to do a flurd, which is the sheep and the cows together. So
a herd and a flock. A flurd is what they're referring to.
Yeah. So how to kind of navigate that. He talks about the differences, why he likes the red South Pole cows. Then he talks about the temperature differences, that a black cow They put thermometers on them on their backs, and a black cow will run at 130 degrees in the summer, where the red might only run at like 101. So it's just a better performing animal. So there was a lot that we took in that we could absolutely learn on the homestead. Like we talked about, the grass and how the grass comes in, and we don't use chemicals. And it was really great to hear him talking about not using chemicals and why that's really bad for your land and
how it hurts the soil using the chemicals and some of the tilling. But by rotating, we're not having to put up hay. We're not having to buy hay. The animals, by just grazing them and massaging the soil.
That was the other thing.
The cloven hoof actually will dig in a little bit and basically massages the soil, opens it up, opens the air, and allows seeds to grow and moisture to absorb. Whereas like a horse, they just create an impact. Compact the soil. So that's another thing that we learned. So they're constantly improving the land for their grass to grow so they can eat all winter.
Go figure. God knows what he's doing.
How dare you?
How dare you?
What else did we learn? We talked about the animals themselves. You can have one. Basically, the equation is about 1 cow for every 5 acres, or you can have 6 sheep for every acre. So you're talking a whole lot more animals. Now, not as big animals, but when you get down to brass tacks and you're talking about being profitable, sheep are a whole lot more profitable and easier to run. You can get, you don't need a horse trailer to move a cow if you sell it.
That's true.
I don't know if you saw it when we bought our sheep here, our little sheep trailer pen. Anyway, we'll show that at some point. It's way up in there, so we're not going to get it on this video, but we can move 6 or 7 sheep in a small trailer behind our little car if we don't have to go a huge distance. So there's that end of it. But we're going to have our sheep. We're going to
and sheep and goat right now. The market is massive for sheep and goat right now. If y'all weren't aware.
Yeah. And some people are going, ooh, I don't like to eat sheep.
Hair sheep's delicious.
Hair sheep is different. If you're having a wool sheep, they've got lanolin in their system, and it gives
from the wool.
From the wool, it almost gives like a gamey taste, I guess I would say. We told you we ate a couple of steaks that we had from our sheep. Boy, is that amazing!
Yeah, very good.
I'm telling you what, if you couldn't get a cow steak, this is where I'd go.
Yes, very good.
Definitely.
Yeah. So and the fact that as your forage improves, so as you move those animals, as their hooves massage the ground, as we call it butt fertilizer, sinks into the ground, then as your forage improves, you can actually get more animals per acre once your forage improves. So that was something that we learned too. That was pretty impressive.
I guess in the time of him, like she said, improving the soil and the forage coming up, he was able to have twice as many animals on the same amount of space is what it came down to.
Yeah. Would that balance that out? The question was if they've got a lot of more clover than what they might need, if they ran a forward, would that balance that out? Probably not. If you got too much clover, nature will settle that in time. I've had folks that were just solid clover. I'm like, how am I ever going to fix this? You can go there today, and it's about 60% grass and about 30 to 40% clover. Nature will balance it out over time. I know you don't like it right now, but it will fix itself.
You just let the grass get taller.
Yeah, that's right. If you let the grass get taller, it'll put pressure on the clover. If you want more clover in your pastures, you don't have any, crank up your stocking density. Put them in there real tight for a short period and beat it up real hard. I promise you, you'll have clover in that area. Look around a gate where that cattle come through your gate. Super high stocking density right there. They're beating the bejeebers out of it. You're going to have almost 100% stand of clover right there. That's what it is. It's density that brings on clover.
Yes.
And he feels that he can even get that down further, which is amazing. So
yeah, and it was great to have some hands-on, to be able to walk through the cows and walk through the bulls.
You have animals that are docile like this. This is what makes sales. When you can bring a bunch of a husband and a wife and the 3 little kids and walk through the bulls, and the bulls don't even pay attention to them. That's worth a lot of money.
And see the sheep. So that was really cool. I mean, I read a lot, research a lot, but I do better when I can have some hands-on. And it was just really cool to be there and see it in person and have some hands-on experience. And his pastures are absolutely incredible.
Yep, and definitely hands-on. The class was out in the middle of the pasture, and they were rotating the bulls through, and the bulls, like 1,000-pound animals, right up next to us. Licked the back of one guy's leg. And I turn around and Denise is back there petting on the one. I'm like, of course. But no, it was just really cool. They're that docile, and that's part of his the breeding that has and time that he has taken in this too. And he talked a lot about that. He's like, if you've got a bull that's looking at you, even if it's not aggressive, but if you've got a bull that when you come up, he kind of stands up and looks at you. He's like, I don't tolerate it. That bull is going to move on. He's like, I want animals that don't care that I'm there, that I can walk up to, that they're not going to be jumpy. The same with sheep. If he's got any that are getting out, like us, we had one that was getting out, and he is now in the freezer. He's not getting out ever again. But he just talked about the traits are very important to the herd, because you've got one bull that's a little standoffish. Well, if he's a breeding bull, he's going to pass on those traits. So now, you've tainted the pool, basically. Yeah. So that was a big thing he talked about.
Well, another cool thing he talked about is if you have a cow, you don't want a bad cow, but if they're not the greatest quality cow, you can take a really good quality bull, put it on that cow, and within 4 generations, you're going to have a really high quality cow, which is what he did. So that was really cool, because you don't have to necessarily spend thousands of dollars on a really great cow. Get a decent cow, put him on a really great bull, and save yourself the money.
So you're saying you should bet the $10 on the long shot in the Kentucky Derby.
Right.
80-1, and he won. Woo! Yeah. We missed it. We heard about it on the way home.
Yes.
Called Mom, and she's like, "Oh, you missed a race." Like,
we were in class, which was
that's right, and we came through Kentucky at the same time. So we were in the state.
We were in the state. Well, that was the next day. That was the next day.
But anyway.
But yeah, so we learned a lot. I would definitely recommend, if you can, if you're thinking of getting livestock, if you have livestock, take the time, go take a jaunt to Missouri, take Greg Judy's class. It's 2 days. He's now got 2 schools, beginners and advanced. Hopefully one day we'll be able to take the advanced, but we learned a lot. We learned, as we talked about, how to tell if we're doing the best for our pastures. And he's like, just moving your animals is going to do a huge improvement. Yep. So,
and of course, the whole way home, we're watching all these areas that are being grazed, and there's not a single divider in there, and all the grass is just eaten down to the nub, and it should be full and tall with the spring flush right now.
And with all of the fertilizer shortages and the issues that we're seeing with the soil issues and the chemicals in our soils, we're just, we're hoping that more and more people are going to, start to wake up and realize that there's a better way to do things, because how we're doing agriculture right now it's poisoning the land. And, God has blessed us with this place, and we want to leave it better than we found it. That's the old Boy Scout adage, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, but just go back and look at the Great Plains before man touched it, when the buffalo were out there. Beautiful grasses, and then we came in and monocultured, and we don't need to go into all that. We've come away from doing it the way God intended it to be. Greg Judy, what you see on video, if you haven't checked out his videos, do. I mentioned that, but he is everything in person that he is on the video. Is just very nice, down-to-earth guy who makes himself accessible for questions. Another thing I really appreciate about him is that he listens to his interns. If they come up with an idea, he's like, yeah, let's try it. He's like, I don't know everything, and if we find a better way of doing something, let's try it. If it doesn't work, we're not out anything. So
yeah, but we met some good people.
Yes,
building, extending the community and That is always really, really important to do. So yeah,
And
definitely.
Hopefully some of them are watching this now.
Yes, but definitely recommend going to the class if you can. You know, it was definitely worth it. You know, we spent some money. Obviously, it wasn't as much as we would have airfare, but you know, the gas getting there, and then we had an Airbnb. It was a really lovely place.
That was the other point.
That was really cool.
A hint: if you do get to go to his school, get on right away and look up. Was it a Verbo or was it?
It was an Airbnb. It was Kimberly's Hope.
Yeah, Kimberly's Hope. It's actually like 5 minutes from Greg's place. So
it's really nice. A lot of people were having to drive an hour.
Yes, they were staying in the main town an hour away, and you know we could get up 15 minutes before class and get there in time. So.
We were up way before it, but
of course. But anyway, something to think about. But
yes,
this is something we talked about doing before we even moved out here. Greg Judy's class and Joel Soliton. Those are kind of the two big ones on our list of classes we want to do. So.
Yep, and we talk about it. Yeah, we talk about it on Billy's video. If you're struggling with finances right now and you're not able to do it, find people in your area that are doing it. Barter with them. You know, say, hey, I would love to come work. If you know, I'll work for you for a few days. If you can show me what you're doing, that is a great way to learn, get some experience. So there's definitely ways that you can focus on getting this done and learning more, and you know, really getting going on regenerative agriculture.
Yep. And not to mention that maybe if they have, you know, meat or eggs or whatever to sell, you'd be first in line for it that way.
That's true. That's true. Right.
Yeah. Right.
But yeah, we learned a lot. I definitely recommend it.
Worth
Appreciate
every penny.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, okay. Anything else?
Not that I can think of.
All right. Well, a big thanks to Greg Judy, if he
Yes, and
happens
his
to tune
wife,
into this.
and the people we hosted there. Friends of his that he runs his cattle on had hosted, and they were really great too. So
wonderful people. Yeah,
yes.
The whole it made the whole class that much better. So we really enjoyed it, and would like to do it again for the advanced class.
Yes.
So, anyway, alrighty. Well, if you have questions, leave comments. We're happy to answer what we can remember. We took notes and
lots of notes,
lots and lots of notes and all that. So yeah, I'm curious what
this is
if you
just
have any thoughts.
just a little bit of what we've learned.
Oh yeah, that's why it took 2 days. We can't cover it all in a 10-minute video. So anyway, all right. Be good to yourself. Be good to each other. Get the pets, Loki. Get the pets spayed and neutered. And I think that's it. So God bless. We will see you all in the next video. Bye, everybody.
Bye, y'all.